name is Montina. I'm currently a full-time digital designer. I used to work in hotels for 2 years before I made the career change. Here's my friend Shehbaz. I am inviting him to film this video. He was my classmate for 3 years as well during my degree studies for hotel management. We are very excited to make this video together and to share our stories. So if you are interested, please keep watching. Would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Certainly. Kia ora everyone, my name's Shehbaz, as Montina's mentioned. I'm currently a duty manager at a boutique hotel in Auckland, which I was part of the pre-opening team back in 2020. Before that, I worked across various hotels in Auckland and studied at PIMS with Montina.
Question number 1. How do we end up working in hotels?
That's a really good question, Montina. I think for me it started with childhood holidays.
Yeah.
So essentially what I loved was, running around the lobby, going through the dessert buffet, jumping on the bed. At some point we all have to grow up, but I think the next best alternative is to make a career out of it. And yeah, I haven't looked back since.
For me, it's a bit different. I wanted to work in hotel industry, probably the same as a lot of other people. I wanted to travel in different places. Comparing to flight attendants or people that are specifically in tourism, I think hotel management will give me a bit more space to grow. That's why I picked hotel management as my degree. But at the time as well, I didn't really know what I was good at and what I wanted to do and what I wanted to achieve in my life. So hotel seems a pretty safe choice. Let's talk about the departments that you have worked in.
Wow, I'd say it's almost hard to keep track. I've pretty much worked in every department because at my last hotel I did a management training program. And one of the key components was that we got to rotate across various departments. So essentially everything except for the kitchen.
How long was the program in total?
It was fixed for 1 year. So 1 year, it was broken down in several months. What about yourself? What departments have you gone into?
My first job was at a very big hotel in Auckland, and I knew that I was coming to Auckland after I finished with my degrees. I was offered as a sales agent, which is specifically for room reservations. I was also helping out sales for events, for conferences as well, and also being part of some hotel visits with our business development manager, mostly for the Asian clients. So that was interesting, and that's how I started my career in sales and marketing as well. Before I graduated, I was also getting a few part-time jobs around food and beverage as well as front office, so mostly around reception area and also some of the back office stuff, for example, night audit. For a lot of people who may not be able to enter the industry with a degree, I also advise you have to prepare their interviews. Or just in general, how do you prepare your interviews?
That's an excellent question. And obviously interviews applies to any industry. I think it's a lot of universal components. So essentially researching the company, its products and services is always a good place to start. What I like to do personally is find a small area of improvement while I'm doing a bit of research, and then be able to showcase that in an interview so that the other person knows that I'm showing a level of interest.
Did you do that for your current job? How was the application process like for your current role?
Funnily enough, there wasn't really much for my current role. Before I applied, I was actually unemployed, and I was one of the few people in New Zealand that used the property management system that this hotel was going to use when it opened. So I applied through Seek. At my last property, one of the acting hotel managers came up from Christchurch and covered for a bit, and he was the one who's actually doing the vetting process for people applying on Seek. He saw my application, he sent me an email, he's like, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but we worked together a couple of months ago. And then I was sort of a quick phone interview, and then that contract was offered to me and I accepted.
Great, awesome.
It was very straightforward. I think because of the pre-opening, they were quite keen just to get off the ground quickly and build a team. So there wasn't too much mucking around.
For, of course, your current role specifically, what sort of skills do you think that's required?
So many skills. Gosh, just trying to name a few off the bat. Firstly, I'd say problem solving is really important. For any duty manager, that's like your almost your primary duty, is to deal with guest complaints, make sure staff are looked after, suppliers, building maintenance. There's like a million things that could go wrong and a million things that hopefully will go right on the day as well. I'm sure you worked in front office as well, so you know what that's like. Also being able to delegate effectively. So managing your resources is also quite a crucial part of the job.
What sort of technical skills that's required?
Absolutely. I think in terms of technical skills, I would say we have a property management system, so that looks after all our reservations. You know, we used to check in, check out people, make bookings, etc. That's quite important. I would say also just being probably competent around sort of, you know, Microsoft Office, so Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. You might do a bit of that. You also use Outlook and emails.
Yeah.
But again, these are things that we can just teach you. It's not something you have to be born with and we expect you to have as you show up to property. Any technical skills from your background that you feel are quite important?
Yeah, I think for hotels specifically, we were trying with using Opera as the software that most hotels would use. I think it would be good to have some knowledge of how this is going to work. I don't think this is compulsory for knowing how to use Opera, but it's important. Like you said, Microsoft, if you're going to be transferring into another department, you might want to know what sort of Excel sheets or spreadsheets that they're using. If you're going to be in a role that's doing presentations all the time, you might want to learn some of the PowerPoint skills, just making nice PowerPoints and images as well. If you're going to get into a creative role, just making things nicer or more interactive, for example, marketing, public relations, or guest relations, you might want to create something that is memorable for people. And I think getting to know some of the design tools could be helpful, but that is not compulsory at all. It's more about the soft skills, more than the technical skills. With technical skills, they are mostly trained on the job. Let's talk about the best reception award you have received recently, and what did you get to experience?
Ah, beautiful. So, that was one of the most exciting things I've done in my professional career to date. Essentially, I competed in the local competition and I was lucky enough to, I guess, win and go through from there. And in April this year, I went to Germany for a couple of days to compete in the world's best receptionist competition.
Amazing.
So I got to meet people from all over the world. There were 19 candidates. It was just so amazing after this pandemic because, you know, everyone's been demoralized for quite a few years. But leading up to this, we all got together, we had a bit of a gathering. It was just such a morale boost to be able to see that the industry is still going quite strong.
What is this award about? Like, do they host this every year? People in New Zealand, if they are interested and they want to apply, they want to be part of this amazing experience. How do they get into it?
Yes, it's like an annual competition. So we do like the New Zealand's Best Receptionist. This year in October onwards, we will be doing the one for 2022. So keep an eye for the details. I'm sure Montina will link in the description the application process for it.
Awesome. Yeah.
But essentially it's open to everyone, so we are very inclusive. And you basically go through several rounds and then you have one winner at the end. Just competing is just such a great thing for your professional personal development. But regardless of the outcome, you know, it's always worth doing, I think.
How was the competition like? Would it be some role plays or surveys, things that you need to do, like for writing or filming? What sort of materials or preparation you have done?
It's very fierce and there's a lot of different components involved. And what you mentioned, I would say it's a mixture of all those things. So just things you deal with on a normal basis in reception, complaints, checking in a guest, making bookings. Also, because of the pandemic, our one was done as like a digital format, so we had to pre-record videos and send that over. What we are hoping to do this year is actually have one live in person. So I think it would be quite nice to get everyone together.
Wow, there will be some actions.
Yes, some live action, some tears, it is very intense. It's not easy, you know, like, especially, yeah, it's a difficult environment, but it's definitely quite rewarding once you get through to the other side.
That sounds really interesting and exciting. This episode will be split into 2 parts because it's a bit long. For those of you who want to know more about Shehbaz's story and his experience in working in a hotel for the past few years,
please make sure you like and subscribe and leave a comment below.
And share with the people that you think might be interested in working in hotels as well. I will be uploading a video very soon. And we hope this video can be helpful for those of you who might not know how to get into hotels. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video.
See you next time.
Bye!